Hi and welcome to today's class where we're going to be using a booty band. Now if you don't have one of these circular bands at your disposal and you just have a stretchy band, you can tie it up around your legs. It will do similar things, however these bands are a lot more resistant, so the stretch is going to be a lot easier on the stretchy band, but do what you can. So we're going to feed our feet through and we're going to bring the band just above the top of the knee line, and we're going to take a lie down onto our backs. So setting yourself up ready for some bridging. So making sure that you've got nothing behind the back of your head that's going to tilt your neck forward, and then focusing on the alignment of your legs. So heels in line with sit bones and the knees facing to the ceiling. So we're going to start by raising our hips up into the air and then lowering the pelvis back down. Now today I'm going to work my bridge not in a rounded shape, but actually into more of a hinge shape. So feeling like you're just going to be lifting the hips away from the ground, keeping your spine as neutral as possible, and then lowering down as though you were just a plank of wood coming towards the mat. And then again lifting up. Maybe you can think of a seesaw where we go up on one side and then down on the other side. And again rising high and then bringing yourself back down again. So as we get to the top of our next one, we're going to maintain our position here, and we're going to press outward into the band, opening into the two knees and then bringing it closed again. So when I do these movements, obviously I'm talking to the population that are able to do these exercises with ease. If you're finding it challenging to hold up and do the movement, just stick with the bridging. So holding your position here and then lowering your body all the way back down. So as a variation, you can do the same knee opening here on the mat as we open wide and then coming back in again. So when you're pressing into the resistance of the band, you may find one leg is stronger than the other. Maybe it's more flexible than the other. So you'll see that things start to change a little bit, and just being aware of those differences. Now let's come back up into our bridge, raising toward the ceiling. We're going to keep the left leg still as you move your right thigh out and in and out and in. We're just going to do a set of 3 and then keep your right leg steady and move your left leg. So moving into the band, working not only into the strength of the moving leg, but also into the stabilizing leg. And then bringing that all the way back towards the mat. We're going to do the same series, but we're going to add on a little bit of arm work. So bringing the arms straight up to the sky as you raise your hips towards the ceiling. So the right knee is going to open out and the left arm is going to widen and then coming back. And 2 and 3, and then we're going to switch sides, opening the right arm as the left knee goes out. And I'm not dropping my arm onto the floor, I'm only moving my arm and leg as evenly as each other and then back towards the ground. So picking up to our last variation on this as we come back up into the air, and we're going to do same arm and leg. So the right arm and the right knee travel and return. So moving just enough away from center that you don't cause disruption to your body. And other side, widen and narrow. And 2, and last one there, 3. And then bringing it all the way back down again. Very nice. From here, we're going to tip over onto your side. And as you do, you're just going to use your head positioned onto your underarm or into a folded position for support. So we've got the back of the head, shoulders and pelvis all in a nice flat level position. And we're going to raise our top leg just in line with the hip so that it's parallel with the under leg. And you're going to start to move your leg backward, and you'll find that there's not a lot of resistance to be able to go to, and then bringing the leg forward. And again, clear your dog as you swipe your foot to the front and the back. And if you don't, you'll just give him a brush and away he goes. And again, taking the leg behind you and bringing it forward. Now this is a movement we're going to be repeating later on. So this is a great warm up for us. And then one more time as we take the leg lengthened backward and bringing it folded forward. Bring the leg back to center, and we're going to straighten our leg away from us. And we're going to just pulse into the band. 5, 4, 3, 2,
1, and then bringing that knee into a bent position. Circle the leg around, and 2 and 3. I like working in 5s. They seem to match my rhythm. 4 and 5. What we do one way, we must do the other. So backward circle it goes. 5 and 4. 3, 2 and 1. I'm a big believer in working our whole body, not just focusing on one area, which is really what's happening with this band. So while we're here, we're going to take double hands behind the back of the head, and we're going to roll our chest up towards the ceiling, giving you a nice stretch out, and then bringing yourself forward again. So as you go backward, your head is superbly heavy in your hand position, and you're going back not as far as possible, but really where you can keep your knees stacked, where you can keep your hips facing forward, and you're getting the twist in your upper body support line. And then from here, we're just going to press you all the way back up, and we'll swing you around to the other side. So as we go there, same setup, finding your position where you've got everything aligned with the back of the mat surface, and your underarm is either long or you've got it in a bent position. So from here we hover the leg off. Now I didn't mention it on the other side, but if you want to work a little bit more, you can put your hand onto the top of your hip and then begin to take that leg backward and forward. So by taking away the hand, you remove another layer of support. And of course, if this is not enough of a challenge, you can send your arm all the way up towards the ceiling. So why is that a challenge? Well, we're trying to keep our arm connected into our shoulder joint and still be able to function through our lower body. And then from there, you can straighten the leg away from you, and we're going to hover, and 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then bend your knee. I'm going to lower my arm again, and we're going to do circles around for 5. So what I love about this work, and hopefully you're feeling it in your own body now, is that you think it's the leg moving in space, but it's really right now the lower leg that's working so well to support you on the ground. Plus it's had its workout, so it's getting double strength. And then resting the knee back down. Take both hands behind your head, and we're going to roll our chest open towards the ceiling, looking backward toward your elbow, but not straining anything in your neck. And then returning forward. And again, a nice easy opening of your elbow. And even if your eyes just remained looking at the ceiling, at least you would be thinking of your chest bone moving from looking forward to looking up. This is our last one, as we just enjoy this upper body stretch. And then returning you back into position. We're going to maintain the band around your thighs, and we're going to come up into an all fours position. I just rearranged my microphone behind me as it slipped off during that exercise. So here we are, onto our knees. So hands are placed under shoulders and knees under hips. And then we're going to do similar exercises to what we just did on our side. So from here, we're going to liven up our right leg, and we're going to start to press that leg back away from us. And then we're going to slide it forward. And as we do, we're going to round the spine, aiming the knee towards the nose, and then stretch that leg out and away. And again, you'll notice that I don't do these movements very quickly, because the slower we can do things, not overly slow, but the slower we can do our movements, the more control is required. 3, and we've got 2 more, lengthening long and folding in. And then last one, reach it out, and then bringing it all the way back in. And then we're going to return to side 2. So begin with the leg pressed out. So this is your ideal alignment. We're in neutral position, and then as we're coming in, we round the tail under, we nod the head through, so we're creating a curve through our back that's not very exaggerated. So you want to feel like the lower back is rounding under, but you're using some very deep muscles to roll the pelvis under and to create that curve through your lower back. You're not bunching up into your shoulder height. And then 2 more to go. Deepening, pulling that knee in. Don't worry that it doesn't get to your nose. It's just an idea. And then bringing yourself all the way back into position.
So we're going to make our way into standing now. So we'll start with our toes in a tuck position. And we're going to aim our hips up towards the ceiling, lengthening down into your heels. So you go where you go, and then you're going to bend into your knees and travel yourself forward. And then again, taking your hips up towards the ceiling, crack, crack went my ankles, and then coming all the way back down again. At the top of the next one, we're going to stay in that position. And then from there, we're going to just pedal out through our feet. So rising up onto the toes, and then one heel under, and then the other heel under. As you bend your knee, you'll feel the resistance of the band holding your legs in position for you, so that you can really focus on the rolling of your feet through this move. And then from here, we're going to bring ourselves down into flat heels and walk ourselves backwards towards our feet. Let's stay in a nice rounded shape with bent knees as we roll ourselves up to standing. And then we're going to straighten the legs when we get to the top. Now I'm going to stand just off my mat because it's a little more stable. So if you are on a mat and you've got a steady floor, then this is probably going to be the way that you go as well. So from here, we're going to go into a small bend into our hips. And then we're going to slide the right leg out and away from you. And then draw the leg back in. And slide the leg out and bring it back in. So for our first round of 5, we're keeping our foot in contact with the floor. And 4. And we can always progress it as we will in a moment. 5. Now you can hover the foot away from the ground, and as you take your leg back, I like to take the same arm forward and the other arm back, and then you slide the arms past each other. So now it's not only just a strengthening exercise, but it's a beautiful balance challenge. And we go for 2 more, reaching, and then last one, lengthening all the way out long, and then bringing it back in. And then stand up so that we can switch sides. So as we do, we turn around. Well, you don't have to turn around, I'm doing that for your benefit. So we're going to sit again into the hip fold. So notice when I sit into the hip fold, I don't bring my knees forward. I stick my bottom out behind me and I just fold into the crease of the pelvis. So first set, we stretch the left leg out and we're bringing it back in. And again, sliding it away and returning it back. So while we're sliding the leg out, you're making sure that the standing leg is not collapsing knee in. You want to feel strong with that knee going over the toe line. So adding on as you now go to the next advancement of the leg lifting from the floor. And finding the balance. Reaching long. So this is never about fast movement or sloppy movement or uncontrolled movement. It's all here for a reason. Last one, lengthen, and then bring it all the way in and stand yourself up. We've got one more doozy to finish with, and here it is. We call it the crab walker. So facing toward you, I'm going to go back into that little bent position. I'm going to have the consistent stretch on my band. I'll take hands behind the back of the body, and then I'm going to walk one leg out, other leg in, but I never close the legs together. So as I said, there's always resistance pushing outward into the length of the band. I walk the length of the mat one way, and then I walk back again. 2. And you can do as many of these as you want. Today we're going to do 3 repetitions, but I enjoy doing 5 usually because it really works the sides of the legs. Plus you're in this isometric control of your quads as you're in the seated shape. So as you're walking, if you're bouncing your head up and down, try and stay at the same level to get the maximum benefit. And last time as we walk to the side and then bringing it there. From here, we're going to just slip the band to the base of your ankles and you're going to move it out to the edges. This one doesn't look very impressive, trust me, but it works immensely well. So from here, you're going to go back into your little slide position. We're going to stretch the leg out and away from you. And then you're going to go into straightening the leg and hovering that leg away from the floor. Tap and lift and down
and lengthen. And you'll be surprised at the muscles that you start to feel in your body. And then last one, and then returning it in, and we'll switch sides. So again, a little seat into the hips, and then leg lengthens back behind you, and then straighten the front knee, bend the front knee. Straighten and bend. And 3 more. Notice what wants to happen through the front leg. If it's all wobbly and all over the place, you've got to work through standing outer hip, support from inner leg. And then last one, and lengthen all the way out. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.